Hey, what's up, everybody? RPM with you here with FT71, Futures Trader 71 with Vankar, and we're going to do a little broker spotlight, product spotlight, trader spotlight. So we're going to get set up here. Again, I'm doing this from a laptop, and we are recording this for those out there hanging out in the Day Trading Radio chat room. If you can't stay and watch with us, we are going to record this and make it available in the YouTube channel, of course. And I've got FT on here with me right now, and I've just downloaded the VK Trader Lite platform here, and it started the installer process. And I'm going to let FT kind of take it over here from this point. FT, you should have access to my mouse.
Okay. So hello everyone again. Let's just take it from the bottom and just install the platform. So once you download the file, you get this, and you run it, you get this screen. We're setting up the demo with VK Trader. The demo application is actually a whole different installation or a whole different application from the live platform. So what you're going to end up with is not just one download that you switch from sim to live back to sim. You actually have to have a whole different download. It's got its own icon and everything, and the purpose of that is to not have you trade live while you think you're on sim and so on and so forth. So that's the way it's set up. So once we run through the user agreement, it's a fairly typical agreement. The install, just install what's typical. So this is just a normal install sequence, and we decided to just run through it just to make sure everybody's familiar with the whole process. Once it's done, you can go ahead and launch it. You leave this checked, hit finish. The most recent version is version 0.47, as you see here.
I'd like to point out, I actually didn't have this installed on this laptop I'm broadcasting and doing the show from right now. So this is what would happen in real life, if you were. It's never been on this machine, I'm saying. So we're doing this live right here for you guys. I thought FT, that's a pretty good, that's a pretty cool thing there that you've isolated the two programs, the real deal and the demo deal. And I'm assuming the functionality is identical, but you've isolated them for two separate programs. So someone could actually have a live account and close that down and then open up the demo and still trade the paper account at the same time, right?
Correct. And also the fact that you can run your multi-charts, you can run your Sierra charts, IRT, Market Delta, all these charting platforms. What it does is it gives you the additional flexibility of running your charts off of your demo while you're trading live, say on a separate machine if you need to. So it's a nice little feature. With this, once this little menu here, the quick start, it gives you just some basic information. You can pull up margins, trading hours, contract specs. Once you're done, you don't need this to come up every time. You're going to want to turn on your platform and just go to work. So I usually uncheck the show on startup, but if you want this, you can always go back and get the same information right here. Okay? The quick start menu, the trading hours, all that stuff. So this is how the default setup looks like once the platform is set up. It's got just a standard charting built in. You have a window for a quote page right here. You have this is a chat window, which we used to, until we got our own Flash chat room. We used to communicate to clients directly. This little chat box down here allows us to speak to you directly so that we can intervene if something's, if something needs to be said or whatever, and I can see which clients are logged in and can communicate with them individually. We do most of that in the VK chat separate. This window here is for completed orders. You can decide to show canceled orders or not. And then this is what your active or working orders are. Behind here.
AFT.
Yeah.
Didn't mean to interrupt. Just for a second here, let me oops. Let me expand this Procaster thing here so we can see everything. I think that would make sense. There we go. Now you've got the whole screen. There you go, buddy.
Gotcha. So this is pretty nifty. You can nest windows within each other. There's a lot of functionality that's involved here. You can decide to get rid of this chart. You can move these windows around. Nothing's really fixed. The first step of the process is, if you want to mess around with how these windows work with each other, you go to View and you uncheck Lock Windows, and now you get these X's, and you can manipulate how these windows fit within each other. For example, if you don't want a quote board, this is a live real-time data feed quote board. Even on the demo, everything is live. If you didn't want this to sit here and occupy space, you can just, once you've hit View and uncheck the lock windows, you can actually pick that up and drop it in other portions of the screen. As I hover over the chart, it gives me options as to where to drop it. I can drop it, and it'll show you in that shaded area you see on the left, and now you see it on the right. It'll tell you where it's about to drop that window. You can have it running all the way vertically across the screen to the right, or you can put it next to this charting window so that it sits off to the side, or you can make it into a tab. So if I drop it on the middle part and turn it into a tab, it disappears from here, and now you've got your quote board nested within your chart back and forth. So let's get rid of the chat board, and let's do what I have, which is to bring the DOM into the same application so that everything operates as one piece of software. So in order to do that, by the way, a lot of this you won't need to do. We're actually going to upload a template where all you have to do is go into View, Layout, and one of the layouts you'll see here will say DTR. And for that, you'll have all of the features and the display the way as close as we can get it to Johnny's display, and of course you can customize it from there. But for now, I'm just going to walk through that process just to familiarize you with the platform. In order to nest this DOM inside of the main application window, I'm going to go ahead and make it uncheck independent so that it becomes an application that's no longer independent. And I'm going to walk it over here and drop it to the left of everything. So now I've just nested the DOM within my chart, within the frame for the entire application. You can have as many DOMs open as you want. I can go to the quote board here and I can pull up a Russell DOM, for example. Highlight the Russell, hit this button for a DOM, hit this button for a chart, this little icon. So let's go ahead and show you what you can do with your DOMs. I'm going to open a DOM. Go ahead.
I was going to say, FT, we got a couple of people asking, what is a DOM? And I believe it stands for depth of market, right?
Yeah, the DOM is the depth of market. It's the level 2 display. It's this thing right here. It shows you the prices in a ladder formation up and down the screen, and it's showing you who's on the bid on the left side, how many contracts are on the offer on the right side under the red. And then with our platform, you have the volume at each price, and then you have a graph of that volume, just like I was talking about earlier. That's volume at price. But this entire depth of market is what the DOM is. DOM is just an abbreviation for depth of market. Okay. Most traders, when they interact with the market, be it for us, we clear Forex as well, be it Forex, future options on futures or futures, you're going to do it from a DOM generally. So that's what that is. I hope that's clear. So I'm going to bring back this Russell. This is a Russell DOM right here. The Russell is closed right now. So I can leave this as an independent application, or I can make it dependent so that I can uncheck independent. And now what I could do is I can nest it inside the other DOM here so that I can tab back and forth if I'm watching multiple markets, or I can pick it up, I can nest it next to it so that I can see both markets at the same time. Oh, but that didn't work. Okay. Let me do this. Let me close that, undock it, and then we're going to put this. Hang on. Because there's a delay between my system and the one I'm controlling over at RPMs. I'm dropping it in the wrong. So this, I can change it to this configuration, which is what I'm more familiar with, where I have the Russell and the S&P side by side, and I can flick through their charts to see, you know, what's going on in those products. So that's one of the nifty features with this. Let's focus on the DOM itself. I'm going to get rid of the Russell right now for simplicity. We're going to look at the S&P only. The parts of the DOM, this first button here makes this stay on top. No matter what you put in front of it, it's going to stay on top. The little calculator icon is your default size. And what this is you can very quickly, I actually leave this open, and I have mine configured so that it has numbers that match the size that I trade. And so with this, what you can do is quickly get a 2-lot going, or if you want to do it incrementally, you can go 2, 3, 4, 5 like that, or down. I don't use that very much. I just go and click in here to switch my size. So for example, if I sold a 20 lot, the market's kind of dead right now. If I sold a 20 lot and it got filled, then suddenly I want to scale out in 5 lots, I can scale out in 5 lots like that very quickly. Okay, and that's what that's for. This stays on top no matter what until you turn it off. Go ahead.
FT, you called that a calculator, but that's just the icon. It's really like a quick preset dial.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
Exactly. It looks like a calculator, but it's not a calculator. Obviously, all it's doing is it's changing the size that you're trading.
Cool.
The other parts of the DOM are pretty self-explanatory. You can set up, you can make trades OCO. So I can set up an OCO trade, make this a limit, and then make this a stop. And what happens here is if this gets filled, if this price gets filled, it cancels this side. What does an OCO stand for? One cancels another or other. Order cancels others. The other way that's said. So let's say I'm in a trade, right? And I'm long. Oh, I got to turn it off. I'm long one. See, now I'm long one at 1320, and I need to run to the men's room or get the mail or whatever, and I'm going to put my stop on, but I can easily put my target up just by clicking on the offer side right here, and I can put my stop on by right-clicking, and it'll tell you right on the screen there. It says left-click for limit order or right-click to stop, and I can put my stop on at 1775. So right now my target for this long is 22 from 20, and my stop is 1775. The problem with doing it this way is that if my target gets hit and I don't and I'm not around to cancel the stop manually, if the market comes back down and touches the stop, I'm going to find myself short 1775. So what this little feature does, this OCO does, is it says, all right, if the target gets hit, even though I didn't set up a bracket, if my target gets hit, automatically cancel the stop. If my stop gets hit, automatically cancel my target. So I'm going to left click at my target at 22, and you see how it turned orange, and I'm going to right click at my target of my stop of say 18. And what's going to happen is it's going to have these working orders, and if one of these gets hit, it cancels the other. The other advantage of an OCO with our platform is the orders are server side. What does that mean? That means that even if your internet went down, if your software crashes, if whatever happens, the OCO order is going to sit at the exchange. And this is significant to any trader because you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I wanted to just mention that, if your cell phone battery dies and you lose your 4G internet.
Yeah. But your cell phone battery can't die because you have the Droid Razr Max with 21 hours of life.
This thing has smoke pouring out of it right now, man. It's so hot. I'm getting a tan from the face of this phone that we're doing this entire show through. It's amazing. But no, I've got it plugged in the wall.
Put it on top of some popcorn. Make it pop.
Yeah, but that's very interesting. The orders are on the server. So if something happens to the connection, or something happens to the machine, a virus or a hard drive dies for whatever reason, or the person falls out of the chair and suffers a heart attack, or your wife comes up behind you and tries to strangle you, or whatever, emergency for whatever reason, or a failure, those orders are right on the exchange, right?
Right, which means that on the exchange, what's going to happen here, even though you're no longer connected to the exchange, if I get filled at 1322, it'll automatically cancel the 18 to bring me back to 0, and so that I don't have a stop hanging out there that could still get filled even though I got filled to 22, like I showed with the manual. So what this is an OCO, and if you go into the comments section, you'll see that it says that's an OCO order. And that order resides on the exchange. Most other platforms do not do that. The OCO is controlled through the program, through the platform locally on your machine, and that means that if it goes down and you get filled on one side, the other side's not going to get canceled. But with this, it's sitting actually at the clearing firm, and the chance that they would go down is very slim because they're connected directly. And so now you're still protected. Okay, so that's what an OCO order is. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel those. Cancel the OCO functionality and just put out my offer to exit. The next box, I won't get into this too much because we're going to take too much time to go through each and every button, but here you can change the flags on the orders, so the exchange will allow you to change the type of order that you're putting out. GTC is good till canceled. In other words, this order that I'm putting out is good for as long as it's out there. It's never going to get canceled. Otherwise, it's good for the day. If you don't say good till canceled, the exchange will automatically cancel your orders once it closes, and it starts over the next day. Good till canceled means I want my order, my bid or offer that's sitting out there to be as good for as long as it hasn't been canceled. FOK is filler kill. IOC, I forget what that is. To be honest with you, I don't think I've ever used it. But you have that functionality, and again, it's all explained in the manual, and it's the online videos and all that stuff. The other thing, the next button over, and this is just kind of showing you all the functionality that's available. I don't know, I don't want to skip over anyone's question and keep moving through. Looks like Pat T is asking a question. Had the demo, but it expired. Is there a way I can renew that? Yeah, definitely. We'll get. If you would just go to this link I'm going to post here, and shoot a message over with your username. One of the brokers will get on and oh, Anthony's on it. Okay, cool. Anthony's so efficient. Yeah, the good till canceled order is going to stay through everything. Like, it's basically your order is just going to sit out there until you cancel it or something, or the contract expires or something. So good till canceled is good till it's canceled. The next box over, the next icon over, is a way to control how you do your stops. You can create iceberg trades. Does anybody Does anybody know what an iceberg trade is? See if anybody in the audience is familiar with that term.
That's a brand new term for me as well. No clue.
Okay, iceberg is a way to hide how much size you're really trying to trade. Okay, and so if let's say I wanted to buy or sell a 50 lot. Okay, so here's a 50 lot. I've got my default set to 50. If I go down to say 19 even, right here, 131900, and I put that in, it'll increase the size on the bid by 50. And it'll be obvious to everyone that there's this 50 lot sitting out there. But what if I'm a fund trying to fill 10,000? I don't want to show 10,000, right? So what, in that situation, you would use an iceberg. So the same order, 50 lot, I tell the system, break it up into 5 lots. Let's use that as an example. What it'll do now is it'll show 5 contracts. So see, it changed from 271 to 276. You see that? 271. I click. Now it's 276. It's a hidden order. You're still working a 5 lot, but everybody in the market is only going to see, you're working a 50 lot, but they're only going to see a 5 lot.
Now, FT, when you say that's a hidden order, I mean, obviously you see it on the platform. We see it on our platform as we do that. But that's not on, all that order isn't on the exchange, right? The software is waiting to trigger the remainder of the order and throw that onto the actual order system, right? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. What it's doing is it's basically as soon as you get filled, it goes 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5 until the entire order is filled.
Right. Now that part would require the platform, the computer, the connection at the client to everything remain stable and go through.
I have to look into that. I think the exchange has implemented a way for icebergs to be flagged so that they are actually sitting on the fill server.
Okay.
Rather than on the platform, but I would have to dig into that and get back to you.
Okay. Sort of like
I'm not
a queue.
sure how. It's queued, but it's hidden.
Right. We can't. Other people can't see that. It's not factored into those normal numbers of that you see on there on the DOM.
And believe it or not, a lot of the volume going through is actually iceberg type. Wow. There are when an algorithm is working a 50,000 contract order. And we do that for our automated trading systems that we have in house. There's a smart algo that has a way of breaking up that order and hiding it and so forth. And that's what most funds don't go into the market and just kind of say, I want to buy 50,000 at 19 even. They just don't do that. There are ways to hide it, and iceberg is one of the ways you can do that.
I see.
Right?
I see Shunts there in the room saying that when that remainder of that order gets thrown onto there, you will be faced with the problem where it'll be at the back of the line, I guess, with the rest of it, right?
Yeah, and that's that. I don't know that that's the case, because what I need to do is actually dig into whether or not that is exchange side. We're just flagging a simple order and it is queued but hidden, or if it's something that's executed from the platform. Now, if it's something that's executed from the platform, it is going to be queued at the end of the line every single time, because the exchange is a first in, first out, and what that means is you're queued. How you get filled is based on the timestamp of your order. So if you came in late and there are 300 in front of you, all 300 have to trade out before you're next. And if you cancel an order and put it back in, you're always going to go back to the back of the queue every single time. And that's how futures trade. It's first in, first out is a priority on fills. So that's true what he's saying.
And there's another question there from McMill asking about the transaction fee. Would it be 1 or would it be 10? Obviously, depending on the number of cars that actually traded, right?
Yeah, I mean the exchange and us, you would only pay for the size you get executed on. So there's no exchange, there's no commission, no exchange fee, there's no cost until you get filled. And so if you get filled all 50, you'll pay for all 50. If you only got 22 out of the 50, you're paying for 22 out of the 50. That's just the way it is. Okay. Any other questions? Let's see. Yeah, the demo works the same way. First in, first out. So if I put in right now, let's change the size here to a 10 lot. If I put in behind this 21, we would have to see 21 trade before I start getting filled. And that's how the demo works. It actually queues you. It queues you in this market. Now, are the fills on demo the same as live? No, they're not. In demo, you'll get filled more quickly, but unlike on other platforms, and I won't be very specific, but like, for example, TradeStation, if I put my order in at this behind this 180 lot, as soon as one trades, I get filled. With this, it doesn't. It queues you as if you're at the exchange, and it has to wait for those to trade out before you get filled. And the catch is, if I put an order out here, yeah, why is this? I'm not sure why it's rejecting. Okay, the exchange is closed. If I put an order way out here where the demo platform does not have a market depth, what happens is it assumes you're the first one. So as soon as it touches a price outside of what it sees as the market depth, it has no choice, and there's really no way around it. It has no choice but to assume that you're the first in line. But if you're scalping and you put in your orders within this, the first 10 prices up or the first 10 prices down, it just takes what's there and it queues you it just like the exchange does. And that fill is much more realistic than almost any demo out there. Did I lose you on that one?
FT, I was going to say that I've used the demo now for probably 5, 6, 7 days, steady trading. And I can tell you guys out there, if you want very realistic type of fills, this demo is so close to real. I've seen the price tag 10 times, bang, 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 just keep tapping on it and then go the other direction and not fill, and then finally come back and then tap it again and almost have to run through it before it fills. Very much like the real market, like the real thing. So you guys have done a good job with that. I think it's
it's pretty good. Well, it's it's OEC's platform, but definitely. I mean, we're developing our own platform in house, Vankar Trading, because Vankar is also a technology company. And we're going to try to get the same functionality into our platform. And the advantage to having our own proprietary in-house platform is then we can control what features we want to put on it. If DTR says, "Hey, man, we need this functionality," it's not like calling the president of the company that owns this software and getting them to do it. It's just walking next door to the CTO and saying, "Hey, we need this feature like ASAP," and it's just done. That's the beauty of it.
And at the same time, you'll still support this, platform.
Absolutely.
And multi-charts and some of the others that are out there that will integrate with it just fine, right? So absolutely. Yeah, we have to be, the brokers and so forth have to be jacks of all trade type of thing where they have to be able to support everything at the same time. Go ahead. Yes, it is being recorded there, Pipmaker. It will be archived.
So what the next button over is market if touched. What this is, if I turn this on, is that what'll happen is if I click at 22, it will not trade out. It will not trade that price until the market touches it. So as soon as the market touches 1322, it converts this order, this 10 lot, into a market order, so it'll hit 2175. Let's say I wanted to fade. You know how if you wanted to catch a breakout, all you would do is you would put a stop above the market, and you would put a stop below the market, and then if it comes down and touches it, you get short down here. That's what a stop does, right? It triggers as soon as it's touched. What if you wanted to fade a new high? Let's say I wanted to fade 2275. I wanted to get short. What does it mean to fade? It means that when when the market moves in one direction and you want to sell it, you want to go the other way. Let's say it's moving up and you want to sell it. That's fading the market. You're going against the market's trend. And so your expectation is, if it breaks this high here at 22.50 or 22 quarter, I want to sell it going the other way. So what you can do is you can put a market if touched, check this, put your order at 23, and if what happens here is if 23 gets touched by the market, it'll automatically sell 22.75. And so this works the exact opposite way, so to speak, to a stop order that catches the breakout. And to catch a breakout with a stop order, all you would do is put a stop order at the point where you want to catch the breakout. So if we're trading, say, in a consolidation zone, a channel, and you want to catch the break of the channel, and the break of the channel happens to be at 22.75, you want to buy the breakout of 22.75 since it's above the market, you would just right click in the bid column, put a market stop order, and as soon as it touches 22.75, then it trades at that price and you catch the breakout. Market if touched does the opposite. It waits for you to touch a certain price, and then it hits the market, which means it trades the price below it and gets your short 10 at 22.75. Or on the buy side, as soon as it trades 18.50, it'll go ahead and lift 18.75 or execute a market order at 18.75 so that you can trade going the other way. Very useful for people who generally go against the trend or trade chop or are more comfortable trading chop. It's one way to do it, not have to miss. Because a lot of times what the market will do is it'll go up to your area and it'll touch it real quick and go the other way. The price will get rejected and it'll go the other way. And it doesn't give you a chance to get on that move when it's being faded, right?
So I like that. So basically it allows you to use your chart or your numbers or your areas and not necessarily get caught by that little teeny tiny little bit to where your order actually didn't fill, but you still get to play out your strategy at least close to it. So when that market order goes in, you're going to be within a tick usually of that tapping, and you still get to play that trade, that breakout or that, whichever direction you're trying to. I like that. So that's market if touched.
If touched, yeah, it's called an MIT order. Okay, and that's
nice.
That's what its purpose is. You don't have to be fast. Let the platform be fast for you, and get you in the market once the price gets touched. So, like today, I said I'm looking to sell that 21 area. If I absolutely positively did not want to miss that trade, I would put a market if touched at, say, 21 and a quarter, and as soon as the market touches 21 and a quarter, it'll fill the 21. Or if it touches the 21, it'll fill the 20.75 and get me short without me having to sit there and actually click and maybe not be fast enough. This trade, this order is going to go in as fast as my platform can get it in, right? And so that's going to be a heck of a lot faster than me clicking on the, at 20.75 to get in. It's just it's an immediate fill. And of course these, again, I won't delve too deep into the functionality. Trailing stop is very simple. You've got a trade on and you want to trail it by a tick. Let's say you're long 21, then your stop, it says right there, right click trailing stop. If I right click at 19 quarter, it'll put a stop out, but if the market moves to 21 quarter, it'll move up to 1950. If the market goes to 2150, it'll move up to 1975, and it'll be a trailing stop by a tick. The beauty is, in most platforms, the trailing stop is just a one-tick trailing stop. With this platform, it's actually more intelligent than that. You can tell it, I want to trail by a point. And so let's use a very simple scenario. I'm long 21. I bought 21. Long means I bought 21, and I'm trailing a stop at 20. And then as the market moves up to 21 and a quarter, my trailing stop stays at 20. As it goes up to 21.50, my trailing stop stays at 20. When will it move? When will this trailing stop move? it won't move until you get to 22 because it's trailing by a point, right? And it'll just wait for the next point. It won't move to 20. It won't move to 21 from 20 until the market's moved to 22. It won't move to 22 until the market has moved to 23, like that. It's trailing. It's kind of hopping along with the market as opposed to trailing it tick for tick. That's what a trailing stop is, and that's what this little factor thing is for. Okay? Am I confusing anyone?
I'm good with it so far.
Okay. So let's get back to the next thing is our awesome and very simple bracket process, okay? So this is, you can set up your buy brackets or your sell brackets differently. This is a bracket order, and this is what you see Johnny, when he was using Bracket Trader, this is what you see him trading with. And what you're doing is you're setting up an automated bracket to trade, to put out your target and your stop immediately once you get filled. Okay, and here what this is doing is it's setting how far that stop and target are going to be from your entry. So what I have here is a buy bracket, which will throw up a sell order 1 point away from the buy price and a stop order 1 point away from the buy price. And if I float over my platform, you will see that the platform is telling you where those brackets are going to go up. So instead of just figuring it out here and blindly putting it out there, it is actually showing you with those orange boxes where your automated orders are going to end up. And these are OCO orders, so they're sitting on the server. Okay, so if I bought 21, what is it going to do with a 1 point target and a 1 point stop? It's going to put a target at 22 right here. You can see the orange box, and it'll put a stop at 20. Okay, and I can have my sell bracket be something completely different. For my sell bracket, I want a 2 point stop and a 1 point target, or a 1 point stop and a 2 point target, and I can test it on the screen. So you could see here, if I sold 21, my stop, you could see from the orange boxes, my stop is going to be at 22, and my target's at 19. 19 is 2 points away from 21. So I can have independent orders. If I buy, I just want to trade a bracket that's 1 by 1, 1 point stop, 1 point target. If I sell, I'm trading a 1 by 2, which is a 1 point stop, 2 point target. Have I confused anyone? All right, sounds like we all have it. Again, these are OCO orders. They sit at the exchange as soon as you're triggered. And with a bracket order, the exchange is not open right now. It opens in 20 minutes. With a bracket order, you can actually put it out ahead of time. So if I put it out at 19 right here, what you'll end up with is where the orange boxes are, you'll end up with the standby orders. And as soon as the market comes down and fills 19, it'll automatically put those orders out. And it'll match the size that you got filled. So out of a 10 lot, if I only got filled 6, it'll put a 6 lot target of 20 and a 6 lot stop of 18 if we get down and trade this price. So a lot of people trade with brackets, and this is what this little functionality is for. I'm going to turn that off. Okay. The next box over is the strategy system. And what this is you can actually go into the detail of how the system reacts, and this is more advanced. I'll cover this some other day. And of course, we have videos on our website for all of this stuff and how to use it. Here, what you're doing, and this looks awfully complicated, but it isn't. What you can do is create a multi-bracket strategy. So, for example, this multi-bracket strategy that created this as a default, for the first bracket or the first order, it's going to trade a 1 lot. The 1 lot's going to have a 6-tick target. It's an OCO trade, and it's going to have a 10-tick stop. The second lot in this strategy is going to have a 10-tick target, and the stop is a 10-tick stop. The third bracket is going to have no target, zero target factor or zero distance. So it's not going to have a target, so it's going to be a runner, and it's going to have a trailing stop that starts out 10 ticks away. Again, I'm going to confuse the heck out of you with this, but we'll just run through it because it's really nifty. So the third bracket, so this is a 3-lot strategy, right? The third bracket has no target, so it's a runner, but it has a trailing stop. Initially, it'll have a 10-tick trailing stop, and then it's going to wait until the market moves 12 ticks in your direction, and it's going to move the stop 10 ticks or break even, and it'll do it once. Or I can change this and make it trail every tick, trail so many factors behind. It's phenomenal. It's almost like having a clerk executing your trading strategy. And again, just like every function in here, when I select the multi-bracket and turn on the strategy, it'll show me where my orders are going to go if I get filled at whatever price. And again, I encourage you to get the demo and tinker with it. It's hard to understand it as I'm rambling through it here really quick. Okay. Yeah, you can set a lot of stuff to work simultaneously. So you can create a strategy order plus run a bracket plus an MIT plus an iceberg plus a trailing. It's just insane what you can do. We don't want to complicate things too much. The next box is the next button is to basically start a chart, to create a chart. So here I just clicked it and it just opens a chart. Oops, I didn't mean for it to go there. It opens a chart, and I'm going to drop that chart and make it into a tab underneath my existing charts. Okay, hang on. Boop. Okay. So this is just to pull up a chart for the depth of market or DOM that you already have. I'm going to close this chart since we already have it. And then the last button on here is the price histogram. So you notice to the right here, there's a price histogram. We can turn that off and back on if it's something you don't want to look at. If you don't want to see how much traded at every price since the market closed, you can turn that off. Okay, and that's the DOM in a nutshell. If you right-click somewhere in the empty space, you can see what your P&L is. By default, I hide the P&L. You can see the P&L in dollars, in ticks. You can see it in points, or you can keep it hidden. I never look at my P&L while I'm trading. I pause and look at it at certain times of the day, but I don't trade based on my P&L, so I'm not interested in looking at it. It affects the way I make decisions. And then what I have on a separate, in a separate window, I have let's see. For some reason, I can't get this window back up here. So let's move this. In a separate window, I have my position window, and what this shows is basically every trade that you've made, your P&L for the day, your costs. It'll show your costs and your, all this stuff. I keep that separate. You don't have to. You can actually make it uncheck independent, pick it up, and drop it at the bottom here, and make it a part of your screen, or you can take it and drop it on any of these windows and make it into a tab. So now I can tab between the positions and the completed orders. Okay, so what we went over is the DOM. And then we went over the the main windows within the trading platform. Other incredibly nifty features, the reports. We can actually, since RPM logged in, we can actually go back and look at historical orders that RPM has put in.
Oh God.
Yeah, we can go to your trade log, and even better for me as I'm monitoring how clients are trading and trying to help folks. When somebody says, man, I've hit a rough patch, I haven't put a good day together in a while, what I can do is go into the risk system, which looks a lot like this screen, and I can look at their gross P&L. And what it'll do is it'll pull up. I can go back in time and pull up as much as 3.5, 4 months of P&L and hit view, And what it'll do is it'll go on the back end and it'll pull up a report of every product, every trade you've made, the P&L on every trade, and at the end of the day, what your net P&L is. P&L stands for profits and losses, and it's basically what you've made or lost for the day. And even better, I can take that full report and click this and import it into Excel for further analysis, or make a PDF out of it to archive it. Since I'm pulling in so much data, it's going to take a while to download it, so I'm just going to close that out. But you have a whole bunch of reports that you can pull in. You can pull a trade log. That's the fastest way to look at someone's performance. So if we go from June 1st and ask it, give me a view of every trade Paul has made since June 1st, it'll give me a table with every single trade that's happened since June 1st if he's traded since June 1st, okay?
It's got to compile that off the server there. It's got to pull that off the server and then bring it back to the client side, right? So that might
that's why it takes a while.
Yeah, I got
you. Yeah, the server has to collect all that data, organize it, and then of course here you can pull up for troubleshooting, order statistics, ticket statistics. With this stuff, we can determine exactly what you did, where you clicked to do whatever you did on a trade. So if you call us and you say, hey man, I never put an order in and I got filled, we can actually look. You can see the detail here. It'll tell us. There's further detail that we can pull from the risk system that tells us how the order was made. Was it a market order? Did you click in a DOM, or was it a bracket? What time did it go through to the exchange? And that's the other thing here. You could look at the performance from the time the order's been sent till it's filled. Between sent and filled, look at the speed. I mean, it's incredibly fast. It's
down
just milliseconds.
Picoseconds.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that's a lot of information, and I unfortunately I can't break it down to anything simpler. The best way to learn it is to just grab the demo, and if I can open a browser here, RPM. What browser do you use here?
Chrome, and
okay.
I'll get rid of the bookmarks there for you.
If you go to Vankar.com, it'll take you to our website. And you can very quickly grab a demo here, decide to open an account. You can also open an account through the trading platform itself. And of course, we support all kinds, because we're an IIB or an independent introducing broker, we support Ninja and a whole bunch of other products. But I think my favorite, obviously, is the VK Trader platform, because it contains so much nifty stuff, and it's also a good place to find more information. So if you go on to trading platforms, go to VK Trader. There are video tutorials. Clients can log into the back end, like you can actually log into the back end to request funds or do whatever. And of course, from here you can join the client chat room, which you can only join if you're a client, and open your account and so forth. And then the other nifty thing that we developed is the VK Trade Analyzer, which is something that I used when I was a prop shop manager and developed for myself. And this is that tool that runs alongside the VK Trader and analyzes your trades. There's a quick start video that I prepared that shows you how it's used. You can, if you have a demo, you can grab it. You just click on get the latest, download it, and run it, and you would just log in with the same credentials, your demo credentials, and as you click away, it's actually computing your trade performance. Are there any questions? Anything I haven't covered?
While we're waiting for any extra questions, I was going to ask you if you could show us maybe how to add some indicators to the chart.
So these charts are kind of interesting. I mean, I never intended. I'm a strong believer in the platform. Actually, one of the things that I wanted to cover, remind me, is the fonts and colors and so forth. That's very important. But these charts, I mean, there's a huge library of indicators. It's got all kinds of crazy stuff, stochastics, just a whole heck of a lot of indicators and studies, Bollingers, Keltners, pivot points, floor trader pivots, and so on. You can also, you know, draw trend lines. You can control how that trend line looks. Double click on it, and change the color, whatever you need to do. Change the width, the depth, lock it, make it so that it won't move again. I can't move this trend line now. It's locked in place. Things like that. You have fib retracements, linear regressions. You can also create annotations for your charts. Here's just, again, it's best to just grab it and kind of look at it. You have fib fans, Gann fans. You can put squares and all that stuff that Johnny does on his stochastics. Just draw a square. You can change that to a default, save as default like he has in yellow. Again, I'm running through this real quick just out of respect for people's time. So he tends to draw his squares like that to outline what's going on. I mean, the charts really have a lot going on. You can pull up a chart from pretty much any product that we trade, and we trade a whole heck of a lot of products. I mean, if you go to the quote board, you can as easily as start typing. You want to trade palladium. Well, okay, we've got palladium. I think the front month is September, and there's your quote for palladium, September palladium. You want a depth? Just click this button. It'll give you the DOM for palladium that's closed. Just pretty much any future under the sun, and of course, I believe it also supports single stock futures as well as options on futures as well. We were not huge fans of options writing, selling options and so forth, but they are available and we do review those.
See that question from Montrealer. He's asking, does it do spread trading or trading the roll?
I'm sorry, say that again?
He says, does it do spread trading or trading the roll?
You know what? Spread trading, as in does it have an auto spreader like the X-Trader auto spreader? Is that what they're talking about? Let's see, who is this asking? Montrealer. Trading the roll. I guess I'm not familiar with what exactly that looks like. If you're talking about an auto spreader, then it doesn't have that. But if you're talking about implied spreads, like trade exchange implied spreads, where the exchange makes the spread, like the notes over bonds, the NOB, it does trade the exchange spreads. And if you're talking about calendar spreads using a CME symbol or whatever, you can trade that on this platform as well. But it doesn't do any auto spreading where you get in one product and you buy one product and it sells the other one automatically or anything like that. That's you need other platforms that we support, like CQG, CQG Trader, and X-Trader Pro with the auto spreader and stuff. But then you're paying big money. That's $1,800 a month type stuff. I hope that answers your question.
I got a couple of private messages here. People asking specifics about Vankar, account limitations. What do you need to start up the account? What's the commissions and all that. I'm not sure if you want to get into that, at the end of this show here, but I thought I'd throw that out there. If you want to cover it at another time, we can. I'd like to say I'm just a dumb old trader here, and I let the pros like Anthony and so forth deal with account issues and commissions and so forth. But we do have $500 margins like others do. But I can tell you that in order for you to get $500 margins, and most people don't ever use that, it's a case. I review those. I understand risk, and our number one priority is to control as best as we can the risk of our clients. We want you to survive, so we don't offer $500 margin because that's just an awful lot of leverage. But it's reasonable. I mean, generally, we do have an account minimum
and we do that because, again, it's for the client's protection. We want folks that give themselves the best chance possible, and so far it's been 10,000 for an account minimum. But again, you need to get a hold of a broker, and it's up to the broker to reduce that. We've done that for some folks. So I think actually for DTR, there's a different set of parameters that we're working with as opposed to our other clients where we have some favorable things that clients can take advantage of. But again, I'm completely out of place trying to answer that question, and I don't want to say something that is untrue or incorrect.
Right, and those terms are flexible. I know.
Yes.
Flexible now, and in the future, you might find it even more flexible. Would it be safe to say that if somebody came to you and said, like in my case, let me send $5,000, all right, and then put a limit on, so I can't trade any more than 2 cars at one time.
Yes.
It's something like that. It's reasonable, right? Some type of limit like that.
Yes.
Would be, okay.
We can do limits 2 ways. We can be very specific and say you can trade 2 contracts max on any product we support, any product whatsoever, as long as you meet the clearing firm's minimum margin. Mm-hmm. Or we can say you can trade a percent of the required margin. So, for example, for the S&P, the required margin is $5,000 per contract. We can set your margin to 50%, which means that you need at least $2,500 to trade each contract, and with $5,000, that would give you 2 contracts.
Right.
Or if we feel, if we review it and we feel, no, this guy is very reasonable about his risk. He's a pretty solid trader. He needs 3 contracts. He's only got 5,000. We can get that done.
Okay.
So it's on a case by case basis. Generally, most clients coming in, I feel comfortable with 50% of whatever the exchange requires. And again, it's not to bind everybody's hands, the wrists to their ankles. It's really for your protection. If you can show that we invest a lot in our clients. We're trying to give you the best possible layout, setup, service, platform, and the last thing we want is for you to come in and just throw caution to the wind and kind of take huge risk and be gone, within a couple weeks. That doesn't serve us. It doesn't serve you. So our priority is to manage risk on a best effort basis. We try to keep clients out of trouble. That's why I'm involved. I mean, I'm bringing my my prop experience, and all I did for prop was manage my traders' risk. Really, first and foremost, I was a half-time therapist and a full-time risk manager. And really, if you can keep people's risk in check, they have a much better chance. The success can never be guaranteed, but at least you can keep, come back to fight another day type thing. One of the beautiful features here, by the way, is that you can control your own risk. So one of the things you can do, where is it? I haven't seen it. The risk monitor, okay? What you can do is set up your own risk limits. So there's a disclaimer here you need to read and understand. Once you hit I agree, you can actually set your own risk limit. I want to be monitored always or at certain times. And if my daily losses exceed $500, you can either alert me or you can put me on liquidate only, which means I cannot add to the position. I can only take it off, or you can just stop me out. You add that condition, you can test it out, hit OK. As soon as your profit loss line, your realized profit loss in the middle of a position, as soon as it hits $500, the way I set it up, it stops you out. You're done. Okay? So instead of calling your broker to set that up for you, you can control that yourself. You can turn it off. Once it's triggered, it turns itself off. Does that mean that it'll stop you from trading, taking on another trade? No, you can take on another trade. But what it'll do is it'll force you to stop out of that trade. that triggered it. You have to ultimately you're the CEO, you're the operator of your own trading business. You have to exercise the discipline to keep yourself out of the market once your daily loss limit has hit. And that particular risk monitoring feature has a whole heck of a lot of conditions you can work with. I mean, you can set it so that it only limits you within a certain date, time, what condition is it based on the beginning liquidation of your account, your margin, and you can only, you can have it set alerts for you as opposed to actually taking you out of a position. That's a really nice feature. And then to finish this off, I'm going to quickly go through and show you a really cool thing. The platform natively shows every trade. So if 10 contracts trade at 20.50, it'll show 1111111, and it'll be so fast you can't see it. Okay. As a scalper and the way I'm used to trading, I don't like that. I want to see trades accumulate a price. So you can turn that on right here. How did I get here? I clicked on the options wheel, go to show cumulative. If you hit apply, now every time another contract trades at 20.25, it sums it up until the price changes. Then it starts over. And that's important for me to see how fast or how much is hitting or lifting a certain price. That's a cool feature in this version that didn't exist before, and it was the developers created it just because we really demanded it. The other thing is, we'll have a default template for DTR. We'll have a default template that you can select that sets things up the way we think it's best, and you can tweak it from there. The other thing I like to have is the coloring. I want to have a coloring scheme for my orders, and you can change that to whatever your taste is, and for my prices. If I'm long, I want this faint pink color. If I'm short, I want this faint pink color at my average price. If I'm long, I want this faint green color at my average price. And you can save those as your defaults. Okay. And now, if I put an order out there, see how it's blue as opposed to the way Johnny's been showing it. And then when I get filled, if I got filled long, as soon as it ticks up, you'll see that it's got this green color. So it's showing yellow because yellow's the last price traded. But as it ticks away, as the market ticks away, which it suddenly decided not to tick away at all, it colors in where you're filled. And then if I put a stop down here, it colors the stop. So it becomes a lot easier to see where your orders are. If I have a target, it's orange. See, the average price is now green. That's how I'm used to looking at a DOM, and this is something that they actually changed for us as well. The developer actually changed and implemented for us. It's a nice thing as opposed to, how the DOM usually operates, the way Johnny shows it. That's really all I had for you, unless you guys, I could sit here and talk about this till I'm blue in the face. There's just a whole heck of a lot of stuff in here. There's a news feed. Again, it's a great platform. Once we're done with our platform, our VK Trader Pro, it's going to be even greater. We've built great platforms in the past, and we have people working very hard to finish that. But in either case, we fully support this platform, and it's available for anyone who wants to try it. Again, the greatest thing about this platform is it has not crashed. It has not locked up. I've traded through non-farm. I've traded through the Fed release. It's as solid as a rock. Knock on wood so far.
It'll even work on a laptop while that laptop is broadcasting a live show through a 4G phone with the control happening through TeamViewer from you in your office.
It's pretty solid. Yeah, it's great. So unless there's anything else you guys are confused about or whatever, again, the best place to have a look here, it doesn't cost you anything. Go to our website. You can type Vankar.com, It'll bring you to our website, and you can grab the demo from the button up top. Give us a call. You can get live help during business hours, or you can, just grab it from these slides here, and it'll take you to the page.
I would say add that if they're watching Day Trading Radio, from the Day Trading Radio main page is also your banner is right there underneath the video. They could click on.
Actually, the best place to get it is from the banner, because it tells the reason the best place to get it is the banner is because DTR is we want to really have a long-lasting relationship with. I probably need to mute this.
Yeah, I did it. I paused it. There we go.
Okay. And we want to make sure we handle DTR members and listeners in a very special way. The best way to do that is to actually go to the DTR homepage and to click on this banner. And that helps us know that who you are. Obviously, no matter how you come in, make sure you let your broker, whoever that broker is, that responds to your query, don't tell them you heard about Vankar through FT71. Tell them you heard about Vankar through DTR, and that way we put you actually in a separate class of clients with separate requirements and separate things. You're going to be handled by a specific person, so we need to know that.
Yeah, and for anybody out there that's kind of wondering, does Day Trading Radio get some sort of specific kickback or whatever you want to call it for if you sign up? It's not like that. They just want to know that that their resources are working on Day Trading Radio, and just a way to track those. And like FT was saying, any special deals or special considerations because you are a Day Trading Radio member, or any special charting package or whatever that we come up with in the future and everything. We know we're all in the same group here together.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We want to be clear. It's not like DTR gets some sort of a kickback or anything like that. It's there's no such thing. Johnny's opening his account, and he's paying the exchange fees and so forth, just like everybody else, because we don't control that. It's really mostly because we want to know where you came from, and in addition to that, we know that more and more people are moving out of stocks into futures. In fact, someone had gotten a hold of me in the VK chat room today. And said, hey, man, I'm trying to learn how to trade futures. I'm a stock guy, and I came through DTR, and he immediately got my attention. And now we're putting together a package, an educational package for folks moving from stock to futures. I love futures, and again, I think it's much easier for me to trade futures over stocks. But we want, knowing that he came from DTR, he definitely gets the attention that he needs immediately.
Hey, and we really appreciate that, man. And also too, with your trading, experience and everything, during the live shows that we do and the spotlights in the past, and just the knowledge that you're giving back during those live shows. You've been on with me a bunch of times, and that knowledge is broker independent. It's platform independent. It's just great information that you've been sharing with us, man. And I've been learning a ton, and I know a lot of the feedback has been so positive about you coming on with us. So I want to thank you.
I for that. Truly appreciate that. We're trying to do everything we can to transform the industry. And DTR is really a huge partner in fulfilling that vision. We want to bring brokerage back to the place where you're happy to be working with your broker, and that we're here to support you, as opposed to someone you kind of dreadfully have to pay to have access to the market. It's just we want to change that, and we're on our way to doing that. So through your help.
All right, well, maybe we'll do this again at some point, maybe another segment, and we'll group all these together in the YouTube deal, and in the forum, where everyone can find these videos. And again, FT, I really appreciate it, man. And
thanks so much for having me on.
Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow.
All right, thank you.
All right, bye. All right, everybody. So that was FT71, obviously, and hey, just awesome. I love talking to him. You know, I loved it, and I loved listening to him more than I love talking, saying stuff. So he's so easy to talk to, and you can just tell he's just a regular guy who's figured out, you know, and learned so much from his vast experience and just spending time, you know, churning in the futures market. So I think that's what makes him so very special, and such a great educator, and so well spoken and so polite, and goes out of his way to help everybody. I mean, it's a win-win situation for everyone. So really appreciate it very much, FT. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and shut this one down. This has been a Trader Spotlight Live featuring the Vankar trading platform and brokerage. And again, right on DayTraderRadio.com, there should be a banner underneath the video. And try that banner and try their demo. Get in touch with them, or become a Day Trading Radio member and gain access to FT71. He's right in the chat room right now, and he's in there almost every day, except for the weekends. Hell, I may even see him in there on the weekends. So you can reach out to him, and he'd be glad to answer your questions in a private message. And that's something that I want to point out too, guys. The Day Trading Radio chat room has private message capabilities. So unlike a lot of chat rooms and a lot of other sites, you know, you can have a private conversation with anyone you need to talk to right in our chat room. So you reach out to him or Vankar Anthony that's in the room, or give a holler to me, and I'll find those guys and get you lined up if you need help. And of course, you have the traditional means for support directly off their website and through their support and contact methods and everything. But I think having him right there at your fingertips is also just showing, you know, how willing they are to go out of their way to be available to us. You know, can you imagine one of those other large brokers doing this for us? You know, one of those, you know, giants, you know, that are out there that really don't care. They just treat you as a number. And this is really, you know, this is special, I think, and I'm very proud to have them part of Day Trading Radio, and I'm proud to be part of Day Trading Radio. So I'm gonna go ahead and sign off here, guys. We'll see you tomorrow, and thanks so much. So this is RPM signing off from the Outer Banks of North Carolina, tied to a 4G cell phone and a little teeny tiny little laptop. It was fun, and we appreciate it. Thanks, y'all. RPM out.